Chosen, you are no longer bound by other people's demons. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to bring a message for the chosen. If you find that this resonates with you in any way, please be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let us know how it resonates with your circumstance. So, chosen, we are in a new year. Aries season is here in full effect. And as the Aries, you are the starter. You are the initiator. You are the leader. You are bossing up. And yes, you are embodying that energy, whether you are an Aries or not, but shout out to my Aries. First of all, you are no longer bound by people's demons, and they are finding out quick, fast, and in a hurry what that really means. See, in the past, when you were bound by other people's demons, you found yourself in the midst of their toxicity, even if you didn't necessarily want to be there, right? You felt like it was your duty to help them, right? To soothe them, to trauma bond with them. You might have felt like it was your duty to dim your light. See, other people's demons looks like insecurities. And when you are bound by somebody else's demons, an example of insecurity would be they want you to dim your light in their presence. So if they're insecure, then you found yourself not shining too bright, right? Trying to move in silence, right? Not holding your head up too high because you didn't want to make them feel inferior, right? If they possessed a demon of fear, then you found yourself not taking bold moves, not making bold actions toward your visions or your goals. If they was bound by the demon of lust or their carnal nature, you might have found yourself engaging or indulging in some of those things, you know, just to appease the friendship or the connection. If they was bound by the demon of lack, then you might have found yourself, not really relishing in your wealth and not doing those things that you would naturally do for yourself or buying the things that you would naturally buy for yourself because you didn't want them to feel left out in the cold. Well, those days are done. It is done. And so we're talking about a completion of a cycle here. In the past, their demons was bigger than you. At least that was the illusion that was placed in front of you, that other people's demons had dominance over you to where you had to stay chained and bound to these unhealthy connections in order to feel like you had a sense of camaraderie with someone. But that was in the past, though. That was when you cared too much about having people in your space, even if it meant compromising your peace. Those days are done. And now you find that their demons they're far inferior to you. Okay? You are far greater than anybody else's demons. And the moment that they come busting through, trying to act like they want to disturb your peace and those protective barriers that you have placed around yourself to secure your peace of mind, your happiness, your sovereignty, your growth, you are ready to arm up. You are not playing no games out here, chosen. You are letting people know what it is. You are letting them know what it is, and you are not holding back any punches. And they're starting to see that you recognize who you are. And you recognize that they no longer have control over you, nor did they ever have control over you. But it was because subconsciously you believed that their demons was far greater than you. And so you allowed these beings to dominate in your energy and to take up a large portion of your life, your thoughts, your emotions, your finances, your resources. But you have worked too damn hard. You have put in too much work to allow any of these beings to come in and disrupt all of the things that you have worked hard for. And so you are speaking very clear, very direct, and very boldly, and you are leaving the emotions off the table. Folks are starting to look at you like, well, where did this person come from? Because see, they were so accustomed to trauma bonding with you that now that you could care less about going back and forth with them. You could care less about their feelings. You could care less about their victimhood mentality. You could care less about their desire to want to control you. You could care less about whatever low vibrational energy they are bringing. They get none of your attention. And so now these beings are trying to find a way to reroute. They're trying to see how can they come into your space to get your attention. Now is desperate measures, right? They're becoming more vicious. But see, what they're finding out again is that you are far greater than any demon that they send your way. You're going to handle these things. Okay? They will stand down in your presence. They bite, you bite back harder. Okay? So they're getting ready to find out what it is. And so I would just say, chosen, get ready. Aries season is bringing the fire. You got a lot of beautiful things that's coming in for you in this season. And there's a lot of people out here that's disappointed with that. They don't like that you are in your power and that you know who you are. You're no longer hesitating or wavering or dimming your light or shrinking in people's presence because you don't want them to think that you think you all of that. No, yes, you are all of that and then some. Like they used to say back in the day, all of that with a bag of chips plus dip. Now what? So they just need to stand down and accept the fact that, yes, you're in your power and that's where you're going to stay. You're not going back into that toxic energy with them to feed the carnal nature of their demons. You're not going to feed their beast so they can go back and feed it to the beast of Babylon and get that thing all big and fat again so it can maintain power and control over you or humanity. Those days are done. You see this thing from a far greater perspective. And now that you realize that that beast wasn't as big as you thought, right? It didn't have as much power as you thought. It wasn't until you woke up and realized that you possess the strength, you possess the power, you possess the authority to determine your outcome. That's when that demon shrunk down to the size of a little puppy. And you know how to handle these little puppies. These beings are getting ready to find out. If they want to go stay chained up to the beast of Babylon, they're in it alone. You are not walking that line with them. You are not keeping them company as they continue to feed their carnal nature and stay connected to something that is only wanting to feed off of their energy and devour them. If they want to stay in that space of misery, discontentment, bitterness, lack mentality, fear, insecurities, if that's the space where they want to be, let them be there. But they will not pull on your energy and try to pull you back down into that with them so that they won't feel as miserable alone. This is teaching people how to treat you, but it's also teaching them how to treat themselves. Because the moment that they find themselves in that space, chained and bound to the beast alone, that's when they start to realize it's not what they thought it was. See, your energy helped to feed the illusion that maybe it was okay to be in that mindset. Maybe it was okay to treat people that way. Maybe it was okay to, try and control others or to mistreat others. Maybe it's okay to live in this carnal, addictive patterns or, whatever their vice was. When you was present there with them, that was their false reassurance that it was okay. But now that you've removed your energy and you've removed that chain, please, they're starting to feel real disappointed. It's getting real hot in there. It's becoming real destructive. The heat is up. And if you can't stand the heat, they already say get out the kitchen. But see, these beings, they're having a hard time letting it go. because many of them are addicted to these low vibrational energies. And so because they don't want to have to put in the work to release that chain, they'd rather pull you back in with them. And they're trying to do it in a very toxic way. The powers that were are using them as the gatekeepers to try to see if they can come in and disrupt your energy. But you are strong enough, chosen, to overcome whatever they try to send your way. You are strong enough to overpower that thing and to speak and to demand and to command whatever they send to stand down in your presence, and it will. And they're going to find out real soon that it's just not working. So either they're going to have to go and find a new supply, or they're going to have to get with the program and recognize that the world is changing. We are in a new age now. So what used to work does not work anymore. So it's time to do an upgrade. That's what these karmics are going to have to realize. It's time to upgrade. Okay, either you want to stay in misery alone and burn in that mental hell and in prison alone, or you're going to release those chains and do the work to free yourself so that you can finally rise higher and connect with beings who have also done the work to heal. But ain't nobody going to stay in the misery pot with these fools anymore. Chosen, we are setting a new standard out here. We are the example. We are the ones that our ancestors have been waiting for to come through and shake some shit up and to reestablish a new beginning. This is of righteous judgment. This is of righteous indignation. This is of truth. And those who reject it, reject themselves. Because why would anybody want to dim the light of another person unless they're dimming their own light? Why would anybody want to make someone else feel inferior unless they feel inferior? Why would anybody want to see someone else fail unless they feel like a failure themselves? When they reject you becoming the best version of yourself, they reject themselves. And that's their problem. And you are no longer trying to pull them up or trying to convince them to come out of that mental imprisonment. As far as you're concerned, chosen, you like, you know what? If you want to stay there, stay there. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to toss you the key. You get yourself up out of that thing. And the key that you gave them is being the example. That's the key. It ain't nothing. You ain't got to put in no work, no labor. Okay. The key that you gave them is being the example. That chain that they have around their neck is so loose that they can just lift it up right over their head and walk away from that low vibrational, toxic energy, toxic mindset, toxic environment, toxic existence. They could easily release themselves from that energy. You did it first. So that's the key that you left them. Free yourself. But you will not go back into that mental prison. You will not go back into that hell. You will not go back in to that toxicity to help them come out of that place anymore. Those days are done. So they better get with the program because it's a new day, y'all. Happy New Year to all of the chosen seed out there. Keep on shining, keep on thriving, keep on growing, keep on being the example and showing these beings out here how it's really done. I love you all. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Have you been dealing with some beings that's trying to pull you back into their imprisonment? Have they been trying to come through and attack you? Let us know what's going on with your circumstance so we can see how many people have been out here dealing with the same energies. Because they see that you are going places and they don't like it. Talk to y'all next time.